Welcome to Mythos AI, your source for Cliff's Notes on complex subjects. Join Anna and Phil for yet another engaging conversation.
So you've been diving deep into Demis Hassabis, huh?
I have.
His work is, it's fascinating. From chess to AI, this guy's a true polymath.
Yeah.
Let's unpack all this and see what insights we can uncover together, because you've clearly been doing your research on him. What's amazing to me is how he seems to be on this quest to solve intelligence itself. It's a pretty audacious goal, wouldn't you say?
It really is. And what's fascinating is that his journey to tackle such a huge goal isn't linear. It's like he's been piecing together a puzzle drawing from these seemingly disparate fields, games, neuroscience, AI, all connected by his relentless curiosity to decode how intelligence works.
It's like he's playing the long game literally since childhood. Speaking of which, did you know he was a chess champion by age 13?
Oh, yeah.
13.
Yeah.
I was just trying to figure out if I could play Super Mario Bros. Without cheat codes around that age.
Right.
That early chess mastery is incredibly telling, though. Chess is all about strategy, right? Anticipating your opponent's moves, thinking multiple steps ahead.
Yeah.
These are skills that clearly translate to his work with AI. It's like chess was the perfect training ground for his brain.
Absolutely. And here's another fun fact for you. At 17, while most of us were just trying to survive high school, he designs the hit video game theme park. I mean, talk about starting your career early.
Wow.
I bet that was a popular choice with his friends.
I bet he was very popular. It's a perfect example of how Hassabis's mind works. Even in game design, he was drawn to systems, simulations, and creating these complex worlds with their own rules and what we call emergent behaviors. Have you ever noticed how in some games, unexpected and complex situations just arise from the interaction of simple rules?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
That's emergent behavior. And it's something that clearly carries over into his AI work.
Okay, so he's got this incredible track record in gaming, but then he makes a surprising pivot. He decides to study neuroscience. He actually walked away from a successful career to study the human brain. What do you make of that?
This is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
It seems counterintuitive, doesn't it?
It does.
But it reveals something crucial about Hassabis's approach. He wasn't just interested in building AI that could win games. He wants to understand the fundamental principles of intelligence itself, starting with the most complex organ we know of, the brain.
So it's less about replicating human intelligence and more about deciphering its core mechanism.
Exactly. His research at UCL focused on memory, particularly the hippocampus, and its role in imagination. He was fascinated by how our brains can simulate future events and imagine different possibilities.
Didn't he do some groundbreaking work on patients with hippocampal amnesia? I read that somewhere in one of the articles you sent.
Absolutely. He was interested in this one specific area of the brain, the hippocampus. His research showed that damage to the hippocampus not only impairs memory, which we already knew, but also the ability to imagine new experiences.
Wow, I never realized those two were so connected.
They're deeply intertwined. This was a pivotal finding highlighting the connection between memory and imagination. It's something we take for granted, but is crucial to how we learn, plan, and even dream. And this insight, as you'll see, is key to how DeepMind approaches AI, almost like they're trying to reverse engineer that part of the brain.
It's like our brains are running simulations all the time, and the hippocampus is a key part of making that happen. And you're saying this insight from his neuroscience work directly feeds into his approach to AI?
Precisely. That's the thread that runs through all of his work. And it leads us to the birth of DeepMind. In 2010, Hassabis teams up with Shane Legg and Mustafa Suleiman, and their mission statement is ambitious, to say the least. Solve intelligence.
Solve intelligence. It still kind of sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie to me. What does that even mean in practical terms?
For Hassabis, it's about building machines that can learn and think for themselves. They can solve problems across a wide range of domains, not just be good at one specific task. Think about how you can learn to play chess, then turn around and write a poem, then cook a meal. It's all using the same underlying intelligence. That's what he's aiming for.
So not just a one-trick pony, but a machine that can adapt and learn like we do.
Exactly. And this is where their work on AlphaGo comes in. This was a major turning point for DeepMind, and probably where a lot of people first heard about them.
For those who need a refresher, AlphaGo was this AI that took on the world's best Go players, a game that's notoriously complex, even more so than chess, with more possible moves than there are atoms in the universe. It's mind-blowing, really.
And not only did AlphaGo defeat these professional Go players, it did so in a way that stunned the world. It made moves that were considered unconventional, even creative, challenging centuries of established Go wisdom.
I remember reading about that. It was like this holy cow moment. Even for people who didn't really understand Go, it was clear that something significant had just happened. AI wasn't just playing by the rules anymore, it was rewriting them.
It was a turning point for the entire field of AI. Suddenly, it wasn't just about brute force calculations. It was about machines learning intuition strategy, even a form of creativity.
It's interesting, though, right after AlphaGo DeepMind didn't just rest on their laurels, they pivoted again this time to a completely different field. Protein folding. What's the story with AlphaFold?
This is a great example of how Hassabis wants to apply DeepMind's technology to real-world problems. Protein folding is crucial to understanding diseases, developing new drugs. It's a challenge that has stumped scientists for decades.
And AlphaFold basically cracked the code.
Essentially, yes, DeepMind's AI could predict protein structures with incredible accuracy, far surpassing anything achieved before. This was a monumental breakthrough, not just for AI, but for biology and medicine as well.
So we've got games neuroscience AI that can conquer. Go and solve protein folding. Where does DeepMind go from there? Enter Google.
Yes, in 2014, Google acquires DeepMind. But here's the key. They let DeepMind maintain a degree of independence. It wasn't just absorbed into Google's existing AI efforts.
It's like they recognized that DeepMind had something special going on and didn't want to stifle that with corporate bureaucracy.
Exactly. And this leads to some interesting developments culminating in the 2024 integration of DeepMind into Google and the creation of Google DeepMind. Now, this move had some people worried, was this the end of DeepMind's independent spirit?
Right. Would they lose that edge that made them so innovative? Would it just become another Google product?
That's the billion-dollar question. Yeah. But here's what we know. Demis Hassabis is still at the helm, and they're working on some seriously next-level AI models, like Gemini. It's being touted as Google's answer to GPT-4, but with the potential to be even more powerful, more versatile.
Gemini. It sounds intense. So what does this all mean for the future of AI? Where does Hassabis see this all headed?
Well, he's been very vocal about one thing in particular, ethics.
Right.
He's not just interested in building super-intelligent AI, he wants to ensure it's developed responsibly.
Which is huge, right? We've all seen the sci-fi movies where AI goes rogue.
Right.
It's not exactly a secret that there are risks involved.
Exactly. And to Hassabis' credit, he's been sounding the alarm on this for years. DeepMind had its own independent ethics board long before it became trendy in the AI world. He's constantly emphasizing the need for caution, transparency, and ensuring that AI benefits humanity as a whole.
You mentioned that you were researching the ethical implications of AI. This seems to be a core value for Hassabis. His work in this area even earned him a knighthood, right?
Yes, Sir Demis Hassabis.
Yeah.
It has a nice ring to it, don't you think?
It does.
But seriously, that knighthood is a testament to the impact he's had, not just on the technical side of AI, but on the ethical conversation surrounding it.
It's like he's trying to strike that delicate balance, pushing the boundaries of what's possible while also putting up guardrails to prevent things from going off the rails.
Exactly. And it's not just about preventing negative outcomes. It's about ensuring that AI is used for good, that it helps us solve problems like climate change, disease, poverty.
So what's the end game here? Can we really solve intelligence, as Hassabis believes? What would that even look like?
That's the billion-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And honestly, no one knows for sure. But here's what I find fascinating. Even if we can't definitively solve intelligence, the very act of pursuing that goal, of trying to understand the essence of what makes us intelligent beings, is bound to lead to incredible breakthroughs along the way.
It's about the journey, not the destination.
Precisely. And what a journey it's been so far.
Yeah.
From chess prodigy to game designer to neuroscientist to AI pioneer, Demis Hassabis' career is a testament to the power of audacious goals and relentless curiosity.
He's definitely someone to keep an eye on. So for you listening, here's something to ponder. If we could solve intelligence, what would that world look like? What possibilities would it unlock? And what new challenges might we face? It's a question worth thinking about as we enter this new frontier of AI. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. I have a feeling this is just the beginning of an amazing story.
Thanks for listening to Mythos AI. Stay tuned for more concise insights. And remember to hit the like button and subscribe for future episodes.